Hi and welcome. In this video I want to show you how to create a mandala inspired pebble pile and coloring it in the chakra colors. Now I'm using the Procreate app and my Apple iPad and pencil, but you can do this using plain old paper and pencils. So first of all, I'm starting with the central pebble. This is the one that's at the very top of the pile, and then loosely creating the shapes of the subsequent pebbles that are beneath it. They're definitely not uniform in shape, and my sketch marks are pretty rough. You'll see that I create a new layer in Procreate for every new layer of pebbles. And this is just so that each layer is separated, and when it comes to doing the painting and the filling in of the details of each pebble, it's easier to access. Here I realized that I didn't have enough space on my page to complete the final row of pebbles, and so I had to move everything into the middle of the page, and then I completed all of the pebbles. Once I've completed all the shapes of the pebbles, I then create a new layer beneath each of the sketch layers, and I'm going to paint on each of these layers. I already have my chakra color palettes loaded, and so it's an easy choice. And I'm starting with the red color that's going onto the bottom layer of pebbles. And I'm doing this with a watercolor pen because I kind of like the different gradients, the texture, and yeah, I think it gives it kind of an organic feel. Lately, I've really felt called to use the chakra colors in my doodles and in my illustrations, primarily because I am currently doing my yoga teacher training, but also because I really enjoy the emotional and psychological representation of the colors. And if you're not familiar, the red in the chakras is the first. It is the root chakra, and when the root chakra is balanced, you tend to feel safe, secure, centered, grounded. And when you're blocked, you could feel fearful or anxious or ungrounded. Now we go to the next color layer for the next row of pebbles, and the following color is orange. In the chakra system, orange represents the sacral energy center, and when you're balanced in your sacral area, you are generating passion and creativity, you have a healthy libido, and you're generally open and optimistic. And when your sacral chakra is blocked, you have low libido, you've got fear of intimacy, you're lacking creativity, and you might feel a little bit isolated. I really do enjoy the watercolor paints on Procreate. Obviously you can get brushes from all over, and there are many talented artists who have created their own Procreate brushes. But I also will admit that I do sometimes find myself having to remind myself to slow down and really be present while I'm painting, because there's a part of me that does want to just rush through, and then I miss the yumminess of savoring the moment of painting. And so we're on to the next layer of pebbles and the next color, which is of course yellow. And you can't think of yellow and not think of happiness or something in that neighborhood. In the chakra system, yellow represents the solar plexus, and when your solar plexus is balanced, you'll often feel confident, you'll feel like you're in control, that you have your own personal power, you've got access to it, you've got access to your personal drive, and generally you have a good self-image, good self-esteem. And then when that energy center is out of balance, you might feel a low sense of self, a low self-esteem, or feeling powerless, or you might be walking around with an inferiority complex, like you're just not as good as anybody else. So these are some things to consider whenever you are using or creating with the color yellow. Our next layer of pebbles will be green, and green in the chakra system represents the heart chakra. When you're balanced in this energy center, you feel a sense of peace, and you feel loving and caring and compassionate and warm and open and tolerant, all of those good feelings. And when the center is out of balance, you might lack empathy, feel disconnected to other people, or even feel hate towards others. And you might have trust issues and be intolerant. So it's a good way to kind of check in and see where you're at. Where are you feeling these things? Does anything that I'm sharing here resonate? And that might indicate whether you are in or out of balance. Our next row of pebbles brings the color blue, and the color blue, as well as feeling calming from a color psychology point of view, it represents the throat chakra. And when this is in balance, once again, you feel confident in expressing yourself, and you're able to clearly communicate and access your creative energy. And in conversations with others, you just know exactly what to say. And when you're out of balance in this energy center, you might find it a struggle to express yourself. You can't find the words, or maybe even your throat is, you need to clear your throat, you've got a frog in your throat. Or you might find that as you are talking or communicating in any way, perhaps you're being misunderstood by others. And so that's an indication that that throat chakra might be out of balance. And then onto the penultimate row of pebbles, and the second from last color, which is a purpley blue. And in the chakra system, that represents the third eye, or the ajna. And this energy center is your access to imagination and intuition. When you're balanced, that access comes clearly and easily. You're able to access your thoughts, you're able to access a vision for your future. And when this energy center is unbalanced or out of kilter, you might find that your judgment is off, you're lacking focus, or you're not able to access your imagination, or you're just feeling creative and mental block. For the final pebble in this layer, I found that I had gone too heavy on pushing out the pigment, so I had to go over it for a second time. And then for the final pebble, at the very top of the pebble pile, we have our final chakra color, which is violet or like a pinky purple. And this represents the crown. And when the crown is balanced, you're feeling connected to things that are bigger than you, universal intelligence, faith is strong, you're feeling wise and you have understanding. And when it's out of balance, you might feel depression or faltering faith or anger at the universe or life in general. And from here in the drawing, I just went through each layer and added kind of a little shadow effect to indicate that the layers of pebbles are lying on top of each other, just to give it a little bit more depth. And so when all of the shadows were completed, just a subtle shadow as you can see, I added a little background, just some squiggly lines down the back of the pebble pile. And then it was time to start with the mandala dots. And this is really an invitation to surrender to the process, be present, take your time, be patient, and just see what patterns unfold. It is really very meditative to do this. I do still sometimes find myself going blank and not knowing what pattern I intend to make, but I find that if I just start making a mark, something will reveal itself. So don't hold back, just start making marks. And it doesn't matter if you repeat patterns, just keep making marks. I really love how the simplicity of repeating a simple shape can create such a beautiful outcome. There's something very pleasing in the simplicity of these mandala dots. And there you go, that is our final mandala-inspired pebble pile with the 7 chakra colors. I hope that you enjoyed following along this video, and please let me know in the comments.